Hey there, fellow hungry travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're here in Amsterdam. And today we're going to talk about are some of the traditional foods you should have in the Netherlands, because there's actually some really good stuff. And I know people usually get this impression that Dutch food is boring, basic, and blah. And yeah, some of the things might fall into those categories, and I'll talk about those later. But I want to talk about the stuff you're really going to enjoy when you're here. And you know, I like to start my day with pancakes, but I have to tell you this, you don't just start your day with pancakes here in the Netherlands. You can have pancakes any time of the day. And the thing is, they're not like US pancakes, which are like those thicker ones, but it's not as thin as a crepe, but it's, I would say, more in the direction of a crepe than the American pancake. And what's cool is, yes, you can have the sweet stuff on it. If you want jam, if you want Nutella, you want whatever on it, you can do that. But also you can do it where you have savory things, like maybe you want ham and cheese on it, or maybe you want, gravy on it with some meat. I mean, there's so many different varieties, and you'll see pancake houses you can go to, and you can eat it any time of the day. The Dutch probably prefer to eat it in the evening time. And oh, by the way, Dutch dinner time, 5:30, 6 o'clock. Like my dad loved it here because it's like when he likes to eat dinner. So my Southern European friends that like to eat dinner at 9, 10 o'clock at night, restaurants might be closed by 10, so just heads up for that. Now, Amsterdam, maybe not so much, but in other parts of the country, it's probably a good idea to check the hours if you want to have a later dinner, okay? But honestly, pancakes is a must when you're here. Another thing that for tourists, which we really like to have, are very popular, you'll see these little tiny pancakes. Like, wait, what are they doing with that butter? Like, what are those little tiny pancakes? Now, I could try to say the name in Dutch, but I would butcher it and probably spit all over myself, so I'll just put it down here, and I just like to call them the little tiny pancakes. The thing is, if you get them, they're going to offer you all kinds of other toppings to put on it, like a jam or a chocolate or something like that. No. What you want is you want to put the butter and the powdered sugar on them. That's the way they roll. Like, that's the way you have to have them. Yeah, you get some powdered sugar on yourself. Who cares? They're so tasty, you won't mind. And they're a street food kind of thing. And that's the thing I think you really need to realize. Some of the best foods you're going to have when you come to the Netherlands is basically like street food or walking around food or like appetizer kind of things. And I think that leads me into like another area we need to talk about, and that's FEBO. And FEBO is basically a vending machine store, right? And it sells hot food in the vending machine things. Like here it's usually fried stuff because they love fried food here. Now I will say most people think that they must be eating the FEBO every single day and the fried food every day, but that's not the case. They only do it occasionally. I'll tell you what they're eating all the time. But at FEBO you might get bitterballen, which are these balls. It's a meatball, but the meatball inside is like a stew. It's got a crispy coating outside and they fry it. And I will warn you, be careful when you bite into it the first time, because like I've melted my mouth so bad so many times on those because they're so good. So you can get those, dip those in the mustard here. Oh my gosh, the mustard here is fantastic. You will have that. But bitterballen, you can get those. You can get those at bars. You can get those at restaurants. That's kind of a typical starter. But that's one thing. The frikadelle, which is basically like a bechamel interior then fried up in like a little tube thing of goodness. That's fantastic.
So this is a frikandel, and basically it's a sausage or hot dog without the skin. Deep fried, of course. So another snack you should have when you're here. So I might have misspoken this one, so I want to make sure I clarify. The frikandel, these are basically hot dogs deep fried. I mean, that's the closest I can tell you. It's the sausage deep fried. Not too bad.
So our next little snack you want to have is you're going to see these little vending machines you'll see in Amsterdam and other places around the Netherlands. And it literally is a vending machine, but it's hot. Like you get hot food out from it. Someone get a croquetten, or a croquette, which is like meat fried together and now kept heated. So just put your money in. Say which one you want. 1, 2, no change given. That's fine, because I just want to grab my one thing. And grab your napkin. Woo, shut up. And there we got it. My little croquette here. It's smoking hot. Remember, if it's hot in the Netherlands, blow on it, because holy crap, it's burning my mouth. And look, she's already replaced it. So you can have that. So croquette is another must for the little snack foods. Another one you probably won't expect to see when you're there is the bami ones, which is basically like noodles inside a packet, then it's fried. You bite into it, like, wait, there's noodles inside here? Yes, there is. That's one that's fantastic. It actually has what we call flavor, which is nice. But the thing is, there's so many good fried things at FEBO you can get. And that's why I would say have some coins just so you can go grab something on the go. And you'll see locals do that as well. And it's one of those fun cultural things is going to a vending machine where they slide in like fried stuff. And it's still hot, by the way. Like, it's not like, oh, it's been sitting there forever. No, it's still like, whoo, piping hot when you pull them out, okay? Now, another street food I think you need to get when you're here is the fries, the frites. And the thing is, when you get the fries here, They're big, thick fries. You get them in like a little tube thing. Oh my gosh, so good. But what's amazing is they have all these different sauces. And that's one thing I gotta say, just in general, I think I need to have this part of the Dutch diet. The gravies and the sauces, they make everything here. And you have fantastic stuff like the peanut sauce. Oh, put that with your fries. Oh my God, it's so good. I actually do mayo a lot of times. You have that, but all kinds of different sauces you can put on your fries.
And then of course you have to have the fries when you are here. Usually have like in a little like funnel kind of thing, but we got a medium size to share with our buddies here. So say hi, hey guys, say guys. So we're having all the kinds of stuff here. So we got with the peanut sauce, not the mayonnaise. Yes, mayonnaise is more traditional, but peanut sauce is pretty good. And just like everything, if it's fried in the Netherlands, it will be hot as hell when you do eat it, so do be careful. So there you go.
But also, I think if I want to talk about gravy, probably the one place you're going to see the gravy the most popping up is Stamppot. And Stamppot is basically take mashed potatoes and different vegetables and you mash it all together at the same time. So it might be mashed potatoes and carrots, or it might be mashed potatoes and endives, but there's something there and they mix it together. But it's not like they make mashed potatoes and the other stuff mashed and mixed. No. They put it together and then they all mash it together so it becomes more integrated together. And this is when people say it's kind of basic and boring and blah. Yeah, Stamppot is kind of that, but what makes it is you might have the smoked sausages with it, which are really good, or you might have a meatball that's on there for it, and then they put the gravy on it. And the gravy, it makes it. I'm going to tell you, the gravy, yeah, they're a little heavy-handed on the gravy sometimes. You'll thank them for it later. Now, another thing I like to get when I'm going around is the sauté chicken, which is basically, it's spiced up chicken on a little skewer, and you have it with the peanut sauce, and it's so good. And the thing is, what you don't realize is there's actually really great Indonesian food here in the Netherlands. And so when you go around and you want to have something with like really lots of flavor, go to an Indonesian restaurant. You will not be upset. And one of the easiest one to get are the little sauté chicken. Oh my gosh, it's just cooked up, and then you have the sauce, the peanut sauce. Oh, so good.
Seriously, the chicken satay with the peanut sauce. Oh my God, this is amazing. Like, it has flavor. Unlike a lot of Dutch food, this has a lot of really good flavor, so don't pass it up.
Now, there's something about the Dutch food culture I think you should know, and that is, in the Netherlands, it's not really popular to have more than one hot meal a day. So breakfast and lunch might be something simple, and then dinner is something big, or lunch is the big hot meal, then at dinner you have like a sandwich or something. And so when you're going around, you'll notice that there's sandwiches all over the place. And yes, the typical go-to like lunch sandwich that people will bring to lunch and they'll bring on the train, they'll bring on their picnics, is just bread and cheese. Not like thick cheeses. No, just like a slice of cheese on it, and that's their kind of sandwich thing. There's other kinds of sandwiches you can have when you're here. I mean, that's not a problem, but if you want a little bit more, but yeah, like just a cheese sandwich is like the most typical Dutch lunch you're gonna have because it's economical, it's practical, and it tastes pretty good because honestly, the cheeses here is something you should have. And it's not just the Goudas and Edamers. There's so many great cheeses you can have when you come here. So definitely try some. If you go to the market, pick it up. Like you can get little parts, little cuts and little times and try it out and see which ones you like. Because then you see, hey, that's a cheese I want to try when I get back home. Because the Dutch exports so many great cheeses, you probably can get some other stuff back home that you're gonna love.
But honestly, don't sleep on the cheese and bread. Your stuff's good.
And another bread-related topic when it comes to eating in the Netherlands is don't be surprised if you have bread and butter with chocolate sprinkles for breakfast. Yes, like if you're at your hotel and you notice, oh, they have chocolate sprinkles out. Did they have an ice cream bar last night or something? No, that is a relatively common thing to have, that you have just bread and butter and you sprinkle the chocolate little sprinkles on there and you eat it that way, so it's a little bit of a sweetness in there. Now, I know those of you that are watching, especially the Dutch viewers, are like, he hasn't talked about the most important stuff yet. No, I haven't. I'm gonna save those to the end because we got other things we gotta talk about. Another thing you might wanna have when you're here is kibbeling. And kibbeling, basically it's like chunks of fish that they batter and fry. Think fish chunks and chips, like fish and chips, but fish chunks and chips. You can have that. I actually like to share that one sometimes, but it's actually quite nice. Like that could be something you can have as a meal, snack, whatever, but kibbeling is quite popular too.
So we've got our kibbeling, which is fried fish, and they put a little Kräuter sauce, herb sprinklings right on top with the mayonnaise stuff on there. So let's dip it in. Yeah. Always need sauce. It is the Netherlands. You have to have some kind of probably mayonnaise-based sauce somewhere.
It's hot though, you gotta be careful.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, you're a beginner. You gotta blow the thing. It's a little hot in the beginning.
Holy.
Don't you like when you eat something hot, your eyes start watering?
Yeah, and you're like, oh my God. Oh, that is one thing I noticed. When they have fried food here in the Netherlands, they fry the hell out of it. Not like overcooking it, but it is super hot because you get it fried fresh. Like this, the dude just fried it for us. I mean, you could hear it crackling over there. And when I've had fries, when I've had, what else do I have fried stuff? The bitterballen that we'll have later. I mean, I had another place. It was so hot. I'm like, literally, I don't think I have much to get inside of my mouth. But the food's so good, I don't really care. We'll find a way to make it. But yeah, do be careful. We should have a little warning here on the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, be careful for...
Blow your food first.
Yes, blow on the food first, because holy crap. It was really tasty from what I could taste before. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die.
Now, if you're here in the wintertime and you need something to kind of warm you up for your day, the pea soup here is actually pretty good. And no, it's not just peas. There's other stuff in it as well. But that is one of those things you might want to have. And honestly, when you're thinking about it, you're like, hey, that could be a nice, like, I'll just have that in a pancake and I'll be good to go. And you really can, because it really does hit the spot. All right, I want to talk about a couple of the big ones now that you're probably like, hey, dude, you got to talk about these. You can't leave those out. Yes, I'm going to talk about, first off, we're going to talk about the Stroopwafel. And the Stroopwafel, basically, it's like two like waffle wafers, and then it's like a caramel interior in there. They put it together. Now, you can get them freshly made at some places. Very hard to find, but you'll see it. Every single store will have it for tourists to buy. They have the airport. Heck, if you go to your local like Walmart, I'm probably back home in the US, I bet they have Stroopwafel there. But the thing is, you don't just, you can eat it plain and it's really good because the syrupy caramelness always sticks together, like doesn't melt super much. So it's like enjoyable any time of the day, any time of the year. But what I like to do is if you have coffee or if you have tea or hot chocolate, I like to lay it on top of my glass and then it lets it warm up. So then the caramel stuff gets a little warm too. Oh, that is so good. And you know, there's also the big little fish that we need to talk about in the room, and that is herring. Look, the people here love herring. Like, there's 3 ways to eat herring. We actually have a video about how you eat the different ways of herring. But you'll see is, especially when you get to early June, when like the fresh herring starts coming out, but you'll have it all year round. But you'll see these little herring shops and little herring kiosks all around, and you can go get herring. They literally are fixing it for you right there, and it's really actually good. It seems weird that I'm saying herring is good, but it is. It's pickled herring, and so sometimes you'll see people like drop it in their mouth like that, or they'll cut up. You have a little toothpick and pick it up that way. The more fresh it is, like the closer it is when they first came out, that's when you're gonna have it with less stuff on it. But if you need a little bit of things on it, usually it's gonna have pickles and onions on it, so you could do it that way. Not gonna lie, probably not gonna get too many kisses after you have it, unless it's a Dutch lady or a Dutch man and they like that, so hey, it might work. Now there's an old wives' tale that basically says, oh, the herring will help you with a hangover. And I'll be honest with you, I've had a few drinks here and I've had herring the next day, and actually it did kind of help a little bit. So just saying, if you had a few too many last night, you might want to have some herring to get your day going, all right? So I've been to the Netherlands quite a few times over the years, and I may or may not have had a few drinks while my times were here. There's some things I think you should know and you should try when you're here. And yes, there are big Dutch national brands like Heineken you probably have back home, and Amstel you probably have back home. You can have those here. You can do a Heineken tour. It's kind of a touristy, trappy kind of thing, but it's worth doing. It's fun, you know. But I would say try the local beers when you're here. Like when you go to different towns, you go exploring around craft beer places. There's local breweries you can drink at. Go to those and try those, because that's going to give you more of a diverse palette of beers than just a Amstel or a Heineken. Also, if you're getting beer here, remember, no foam, no drink. Because if there's no foam, it means the beer's been sitting there for a while and it's not very good, you know? So you want to have at least 2 fingers of foam on your beer when you drink it. That's why when they pour, you'll notice they'll wipe it off on the top and go, here you go. And you're like, oh, cool, thanks. Now, another drink you should have when you are here is Jenever. And Jenever is basically, it's direction gin. It's more like a gin, but like more juniper-y, I guess you'd say. You can have that here and you'll get it in a little tulip glass. It'll be full at the top. You know, they are very much about how you're supposed to fill things and all that kind of stuff here. Very, very efficient, very practical when you're here in the Netherlands, okay? But that's something you should have if you're looking for another adult beverage.
A mistake that tourists make when they drink Jenever or Jenever is realize they fill it so high that there's that on the top. Oops. And so you have to come down and sip the first sip. Jenever is not a shot. okay? You want to sip it, all right? So be aware of that.
And I think if you're looking for a non-adult beverage, i.e. a kid's drink or a kid at hard drink, you gotta go to Chocomel. It's the chocolate milk here. I mean, the chocolate milk, Chocomel, it's like a thick chocolate milk, not like curdy. I'm just saying, like, it's like, it feels like it's like whole milk, but like Dutchified, you know, like on there kind of stuff. And you have that, you make sure you shake it up beforehand and you drink that. I mean, I get it at the airport. Like when I'm leaving, I'll drink it at the airport. Like as I get on the plane, to have one last little taste of tastiness from here in the Netherlands.
Now, of course, it'd be wrong of me not to mention some drinks when we're here. And of course, Chocomel is the chocolate milk here. This is what you drink when you're a kid. It's what you drink when you're an adult. Make sure you shake it really well before you open it so it gets nice and mixed up. But it's got that thick, rich, creamy chocolatiness, but with the good milk kind of stuff. I mean, you can't go wrong with Chocomel. You just can't.
There's a lot of things you can have when you're here. Obviously, you can drink the water and you get tap water at the restaurants, no problem. But it is one of those things. You will enjoy yourself when you are here, but realize that sometimes it's hard to find traditional, you know, Dutch food because the locals like to eat international food that has flavor that isn't basic, boring, and blah. And I told you some of the great stuff here that isn't basic, boring, and blah. And you can have that, though. Stamppot, yeah, that really fits the basic, boring, blah kind of thing. That's why I'd say is experiment with different vegetables in your Stamppot to like enliven it up, I guess I would say. But honestly, if you're coming here, you have a great time eating, you have a great time drinking, you have a great time, you know, enjoying your time here. I will say, if you're looking at service, don't expect over-the-top service when you're here. You might need to flag down your waiter to order another drink because they're not going to come back and check on you every 5 minutes. They'll take your order, drop off your stuff, and between then they might not see them. So it's okay when they're walking by to go, hey, can I get another drink? Because the Dutch are very direct, so they don't take any offense to it. It's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll get you another drink. They'll be professional, but don't think it's going to be like over-the-top friendly. Also, if you're going to be coming here in Amsterdam, you always want to make reservations for dinner. Like if there's certain restaurants you want to go to, you can get to a lot of places anyway, but it's a good idea to get reservations, especially on the weekends. And if you're in some of the other cities as well, like if you're going to Rotterdam, there's a place you want to go, just get reservations. And believe me, if you call them up and speak English, they'll speak English. You don't have to worry about that. And I think that's one thing that tourists kind of like here is because usually everywhere you go, the menus, yeah, they'll be in Dutch, but also they'll be in English. So you can make sure what you're getting, so you make sure you get the right vegetable in your Stamppot. You know, carrots are kind of good because that sweetness goes very well, but sometimes just like the endive one, but you know, to all their own. And the thing is, when you're here, if you can go to some of the markets when you're here to get some of the street food and to get some of the local food, that's always a fun thing to do. I think if you're looking for desserts, yes, they have some good stuff here. 2 desserts I recommend. One is butter cake. It's got like the crumble on top. It's really, really nice. Another thing is the apple tart, which is, you know, basically like, you ever hear like Dutch apple pie? You have that. It is so good. Like, you want to have that. Make sure you get the cream on it because literally anything dairy here in this country is great. The cheese, the milk, the Chocomel, the cream that goes on top of your desserts. You can't go wrong with it when you are here, all right?
So another snack you can have in the Netherlands is Kapsalon, which is basically I would call it a doner's salad, basically, with fries. And basically what it is, you have the base of fries, and then they put the doner kebab meat on there, and then they put the Gouda cheese, and they bake that to get like the cheese melted up, and then they put salad on there and lettuce and stuff, and then the sauce is always like the sauce is on top. But that's a nice little like after a few Heinekens kind of snack. But you always get a good doner kebab too. They do pretty good at that as well.
And as a final warning or word of advice, if the locals give you little candies that are black, it's black licorice, salty black licorice. It's not tasty. Locals love it. Non-locals, unless they're like from Finland and Scandinavia, they kind of love it. They love it, but everyone else is like, oh, this is horrible. So just be aware of that when you do get an offer from one of your Dutch friends. Arno. Anyway, I wish you all the best, my friends. I hope you have a great time eating here in the Netherlands, eating, drinking, and just seeing the beautiful countryside, from taking canal tours, seeing the museums, all kinds of stuff. You can't beat it here in the Netherlands. We've got tons of videos to help you out. 5 things you love and hate about coming to the Netherlands, the don'ts of Amsterdam, obviously what you eat here, mistakes tourists make in the Netherlands, all to help you enjoy this country. So please check us out on our website at woltersworld.com. And if you have other fun things to eat when you come here to the Netherlands, please put it down in the comments below, because things changed. Restaurants pop up, new foods come in. The bakery scene here has totally changed in the last few years, that now you've got cool bakeries you can go to. Not just everybody serving the same bread. No, they like to mix it up a little bit. So let us know some good places to eat when you're here in the Netherlands and some great food. Obviously, I can't hit everything in the video, so please put it down in the comments below to help out other travelers. And I'll say bye from here in the Netherlands.